Howdy folks, how you doing today? We're going to talk about Alan Wake Part 2 and how a game that I had such high expectations turned out to just be meh. Let's start off with the visual aesthetics of this game. Alan Wake Part 2 really knocks this area out of the park. When it comes to every single level, or should I say episode, it starts off with like the actual title card right in front of your face. Now, for some people that might seem a little bit annoying, but to me, I just felt like it added a layer of realism, almost in the sense that I am playing a game within a TV show. I think a world such as Alan Wake could make a compelling show, and I think it's something that people would watch. I think it's really awesome. I like the way that the game presents both the real-life actors and their character game models. That's really the only good things that I have to say for Alan Wake, because now we're going to talk about the combat. I just feel like the combat is like a copycat of a copycat. You have seen this before in other games and they do it way better, because here in Alan Wake, the stakes don't feel that high. Let's talk about the inventory management. In other games, it's a very serious thing. You got to learn how to manage it properly and spacing and all that fun stuff if you want to hold the max amount of items in your inventory. In this game, that's not the case at all. It just kind of felt, I don't want to say useless, but it just, I didn't feel that sense of cautious, right? It's like, oh, if I pick this up, I can't carry this other item that's going to help me defeat this other enemy. At least when I was playing, there was an abundance of batteries and health. It might have been a good thing that I got a lot of batteries, or I was able to find them consistently, because when it comes to the actual aiming your flashlight at the enemies themselves and then trying to take them out, it would be so annoying sometimes to waste like 2 or 3 batteries on just one enemy. Like, you gotta really hit the hitbox on some of these guys in order for you to stun them. I get it that in the first game, it happened a few times, but here in this game, it just felt like it was happening more times than not. There was plenty of instances where I was just shooting enemies over and over again and wasting batteries nonstop. So that was not fun, I'd say. I think I wasted more bullets than batteries. The guns in this game just didn't really feel worthwhile. Like, yeah, you get the pistol, you get the shotgun, and you get the crossbow. I don't ever think I unlocked the rifle. I just never bothered to get it because I just didn't even care about it that much. You could probably get away with this entire game using a pistol and totally be fine. I just didn't really like it like that, because in most other games you have a whole arsenal of weapons at your disposal so you can use them in certain circumstances and certain situations. Hey, there's a whole bunch of enemies, maybe I should use a shotgun to, you know, spread my rounds all as much as enemies as I can. But here in this game, it just doesn't feel that way. None of the guns really matter, and yeah, they were just more of an optional kind of thing. It depends. I feel like maybe some people might like that, but personally for me, if you're gonna add different guns, make every gun feel powerful and distinct. The hand-to-hand combat in this game, it's just bad. I feel like Remedy just put it in there just like a last-minute thing, because I would think that as an FBI agent, you gotta be in top shape, you got to go through training, you got to learn how to fight, you got to learn how to handle yourself. Saga, all she really does is like throw a punch. I mean, same goes with Alan, of course, but I would have expected maybe Saga to have a little bit of a differentiation or an advantage over Alan, because she's a trained professional. Also, when it comes to the boss fights of this game, they weren't really that good, or at least I didn't think they were that exciting. I think Remedy really just wanted to focus more on the storytelling aspect, which is fine, that's okay. I felt like Saga was screwed over so hard, in the sense that, spoiler alert by the way if you haven't played it yet, her daughter dies in the game, but you don't see that. It's just more of a phone call kind of thing. She calls her husband, and her husband's just like, hey, like, stop calling me, our daughter is dead because of you, and blah blah blah. And supposedly, like, what ends up happening is the darkness is like rewriting her story, rewriting the world, making it seem that, hey, like, she lost her daughter a long time ago and she doesn't want to believe that, which I think is pretty compelling, right? But I also feel no empathy towards her. Like, I know that sounds really mean, but it's true. Like, I don't feel a connection with Saga. Nothing about her made me want to relate to her in any way. She was a really boring character. If you would have replaced Saga with any other FBI agent, would it really change the story? I don't really think so. What really annoyed me of her was the idea of having to listen to her talk about every little portion of evidence that she collected, and having to hear her speak all the time, just being like, oh, this belonged to such and such. Maybe this could give me the next clue for this other thing. It's just really annoying and super repetitive. And the whole detective thing just did not really do anything for me. I think the first couple of hours it was interesting, but after a while, you just don't care at all. I felt more connected to Alan because number one, we have prior history with him because we played the first game. You know, we know his story and we know what he's already gone through. So of course, I cared about him more and I liked playing the levels with him more. It really sucked to see his wife died. I really wish we could have maybe rewrote the story. We could have maybe done something in a way to be able to change that outcome. But obviously, of course, you know, being in 13 years of hell, probably there's only so much you can do, right? There was just plenty of times where I kind of had a hard time listening to the story. It was hard to follow. I was starting to get to the point where I was already like, come on, man, like let's skip some of the stuff, you know, let's get it going. Whenever I get to that point in a game, that's probably a bad sign that, hey, like the story, it's just not captivating. It's just not interesting. I already lost interest or I just can't follow what's going on. First game, there was always something going on. I felt like every level I was progressing, I was moving towards something. And also I just felt like that first game had way more action than even this game. And plus, I think you could even drive in the first game, and just there was just more variety in some of the level designs, at least compared to this one. I just feel like Alan Wake 2 did not really live up to my expectations. Just the story, like I said, a little bit hard to follow, and the gameplay just really was not the strongest suit of this game. I think it would have been a better TV show than a game, honestly. However, do I recommend this game to anybody? Probably not. You know, unless you're a really big Alan Wake fan, or unless you really like Remedy a lot, this is probably not going to be your game. You're going to get bored right away. That is my review of Alan Wake Part 2. Some of the things that I like, some of the things I didn't like. I think it's a game that really could do a whole lot more. I still beat the whole game. Oh, thank God. It felt like such a drag. However, I still need to play the DLCs, and I heard good things about it, so I'll eventually get to it when I can. However, if you enjoy listening to me rant, thank you for coming, and hopefully see you in the next one. Take care.